Before this story begins, turn off the lights around you. Put on your headphones and make sure you're alone.
Bake-Neko. A demon cat, or a Bake-Neko, is a spiritual creature featured in much of Japanese folklore. It is an ordinary cat that was transformed into a yokai. It is said that when a cat lives to an old age, it slowly begins to develop supernatural powers and becomes a Bake-Neko. As their powers increase, they get larger and can grow to about the size of a full-grown human. The name it got, Bake-Neko, means monster cat or transforming cat. This is due to the superstition that these demonic cats can shapeshift and take the form of a human. Along with this ability, it is said to be able to walk on two legs and have enormous arms that reach through doorways. It can also steal the identities of humans. How does it do this? By devouring the human and then shapeshifting into their victim afterwards. This leads many people to believe that you can be living among these monster felines without even knowing it. It is also believed that an owner can have a Bake-Neko without even knowing, since they can look identical to normal house cats. This can cause the owner to be in great danger because Bake-Nekos can easily eat their owner and shapeshift into them, taking their identity. It is not said that all cats can become Bake-Nekos, and only certain cats do. Many of them can get their powers from curses or magic, but a natural Bake-Neko is said to come from a cat living over 13 years, weighing over 8 pounds, and licking up large quantities lamp oil. The lamp oil is because people back then used to believe that you could tell if the cat was a Bake-Neko if it licked oil from an oriental lamp. However, the cats at the time probably were attracted to the fish and sardine oil, which caused them to try licking it every now and then. There is a famous story about a Bake-Neko called the Devil Cat of Nabeshima. It goes like this. One night, a prince was walking in the palace gardens with his favorite geisha, a beautiful girl named O-Toyo. They chatted the time away and admired the blooming flowers around them. Little did they know, a shadowy creature was watching them while they walked. It was a notorious Bake-Neko, spying on the pair with crafty eyes. When the prince and geisha parted, the prince went into his bedroom while the geisha walked to her apartment. The Bake-Neko secretly followed the geisha home and waited until she was asleep. As soon as she drifted into a deep sleep, the cat slipped into the room and pounced on her. It strangled the poor girl to death and dragged her body to the palace gardens. Afterwards, it dug her a shallow grave under the flower beds and buried her corpse. After shoveling the final pile of dirt onto the grave, the cat shapeshifted into the geisha. Remembering how O-Toyo talked to the prince when it spied on them, it mimicked her speech to fool everyone, including the prince himself. It would act just like her and even went on walks with the prince. However, when nighttime would come, it would sneak into the prince's room and drink his blood. Soon enough, the prince started to complain about horrible dreams he was having. He then developed a mysterious illness, becoming weaker and paler each day. The doctors were shocked and had no clue what was wrong with him. Suspicious about the cause of this, guards were ordered to watch over the prince's room while he slept. At first, many of the guards would find themselves feeling extremely drowsy and would fall asleep just before the culprit slipped in. However, a young soldier heard of the strange events and volunteered to become a guard. He was determined to solve the mystery and stay up for the entire night. As midnight approached, each guard around him fell asleep, and he started to nod off as well.
Desperate to solve the case, he took out his dagger and stabbed himself in the thigh to keep himself awake. Whenever he felt drowsy, he would twist the dagger to increase the pain and stay awake. Finally, the soldier saw something odd. The sliding doors of the prince's rooms parted, and the geisha, disguised as the beautiful geisha, silently crept inside. Before it could reach the prince's bedside, it noticed the soldier staring at it, holding up a knife. The geisha quickly left and closed the doors behind it. For the next 3 nights, the dutiful soldier watched over the prince and stabbed himself to stay awake. The prince's health got much better over the days, but whenever the soldier told him about the geisha, the prince refused to think she was the culprit. He told the soldier he would never question the loyalty of his wonderful girlfriend. Fed up with the prince's denial, he made plans to get rid of the geisha himself. That very night, the soldier knocked on the geisha's apartment door. He told the geisha he had a message from the prince and that it was extremely urgent. As soon as the geisha opened the door, however, the soldier suddenly threw his dagger towards it and tried to stab it. The geisha dodged his attack and transformed back into a monstrous Bake-Neko. From there, it pounced on the soldier, hissing with fury and rage. Fortunately, the soldier was able to defend himself and escaped into the mountains nearby. The next day, he told the prince about the account, and the prince was bewildered. Before he could say anything, the palace gardener entered the room and gave horrible news. He found the body of the real Otoyo under the flower beds. Grief-stricken, the prince ordered every guard to hunt for the Bake-Neko that murdered his love. After a few days went by, it was finally killed by the soldier that originally discovered its evil secret. The main reason that many cats out there are seen as yokai, such as the Bake-Neko, may have to do with the appearance that they have. Similar to snakes and foxes, their elusive habits cause people to see them as mysterious and possibly even supernatural. An example of how they seem off is how their irises change shape and how they can be extremely quiet at times. Also, they have been seen licking blood, are nocturnal, and have sharp claws and fangs. This gives the impression that they have dark abilities, which is most likely why Japanese people, while writing folklore and legends, could not help but think of a sly and crafty cat as one. Either way, this is definitely an interesting one. They're mentioned quite frequently in certain Japanese folklore and legends, especially anything involving felines. Maybe you cat lovers out there will enjoy this one, unless you think you own a Bake-Neko yourself, that is.
Futakuchi-onna.
Futakuchi-onna means two-mouthed woman in Japanese, which fits the description of one perfectly. They appeared to be a normal woman until their secret is revealed. The woman has a tiny mouth, but on the back of her head is a huge second mouth hidden in her hair. The woman's skull splits apart, revealing lips, teeth, and a tongue. Although she appears to never eat, the mouth on the back of her head is always hungry for food. It is said that the mouths also have a mind of their own and will whisper horrible things to the woman. It will threaten her, harass her, and demand food frequently. It screeches and causes the woman an unbearable amount of pain until it is fed. The mouth can also control her hair and make the hair wrap around food to shovel it into the mouth. This lets the mouth help itself to the woman's meals and consume twice the amount the woman would. The origin of a Futakuchi-onna's second mouth is often linked to how little a woman eats. In many stories, the soon-to-be Futakuchi-onna is a wife of a miser and rarely eats. A miser is a person that hoards money and rarely spends money in fear of losing wealth. Many people believe that this is the true origin. To counteract this, a second mouth mysteriously appears on the back of the woman's head. To get a better look at the origins and behavior of a Futakuchi-onna, we can look at Japanese folklore and mythology involving one. In one story, an extra mouth is formed when a stingy woman is accidentally hit in the back of the head by her husband's axe. In another, a mother lets her one child die of starvation, and the child's spirit lodges itself to form a mouth on the back of her head to get revenge. The most famous story with a Futakuchi-onna in it goes like this. An old miser lived by himself in a small village. He never got married since he hated spending money and believed that if he took in a wife, he would have to give up a lot of money for her food. He couldn't bear the idea of parting with his wealth to pay for his wife's food and housing. But one day, he came across a young woman who didn't eat a thing. The more he accompanied her, the more he realized that she seemed to eat nothing at all. This thrilled him, and he thought he had found the woman of his dreams. Of course, he'd have to pay for housing, but he couldn't care less. Food was expensive back then, and so as long as she ate nothing, he could stay rich. They soon got married and became a very happy couple together.
As time went on, however, the man noticed that his rice storage was steadily decreasing, even though he barely touched it at all. He wondered if someone was sneaking into the storage and eating it while he was gone. Determined to catch the culprit, the man devised a plan. The next day, the old man pretended to go to work, but instead stayed behind to spy on his new wife. He watched her walk into the storage room and crept along into the room as well to get a better view. To his horror, he saw his wife's hair part on the back of her head to reveal that her skull was split open, forming a gaping, deformed mouth. Her hair reached out like tentacles, grasping handfuls of rice and throwing it into the mouth. When the woman saw that her husband discovered her deep secret, the woman panicked and tried to strangle him. The old man managed to get away from her and ran off into the mountains. Weeks later, he finally worked up the courage to return to his household, only to be stricken with grief. His wife was nowhere to be seen, and all of his food had been eaten by the monstrous mouth. Devastated, the old man never married again and died poor. Futakuchi-onnas have been featured in television shows, as well as anime, video games, and a comic book. Not many people actually believe in them, but rather admire their deceiving looks and make art pieces of them. Many paintings and sculptures have been made inspired by them.
Harionago. A Harionago is a stunningly attractive woman with long hair and a few tricks up her sleeve. Her name stands for Hook Woman, and she is also known as a Hari-onna. Her hair may seem normal, but upon closer inspection, the tips form sharp hooks and barbs. She has the ability to manipulate her hair into writhing tentacles that can snake out and attack her desired victim. She stalks the night looking for a victim. She usually hunts for young males much more than females, possibly because she believes they are easier to seduce and trick. She usually travels among empty roads and back streets in Japan, so nobody can intervene her plans. Whether she is lingering around the area or simply passing by, once she spots a young man all alone, she'll simply smile at them. The man will usually smile back, being friendly to the beautiful woman, but that is how they fall into her trap. If they don't smile, she'll look away and say nothing, letting the man be on his way. But if he smiles back, she will commence a vicious attack. Her barbed hair lashes out at incredible speed and pierces deep into the victim's clothing and flesh. It is hard for a victim to escape due to how their body is stuck to her hair. She will then tear apart the victim using the hooks and vanish from the scene to leave the mangled corpse behind. In some cases, she devours the body to prevent police intervention. There is only a small chance to escape, but it is possible. If someone is a good runner, they can possibly run to their house and shut the door before she catches up to them. A sturdy door or gate will keep the Harionago out of the house. They disappear in the morning, so all the person will have to do is stay in their house until morning. There is a story of an experience of a Harionago. It goes like this. There is a boy that lives in a small village named Yamada. He was walking through the streets to get to his house. He was alone, and the fact that it was nighttime didn't help him feel any better. But even with the darkness and loneliness, he was convinced that he would be safe because nothing ever happened on these streets. They were always empty at this time of night after all. Suddenly, he spotted a beautiful young woman approaching him slowly. Her long black hair seemed to mesmerize him, swaying gently in the calm breeze. She gave him a warming smile, inviting him to smile back. He felt as if something was odd, but he was so attracted to this mysterious girl that he smiled back. As soon as he flashed her a friendly grin, her hair suddenly shot towards him as if they were tentacles. The hooks dug deep into his shirt at lightning speed, but luckily didn't hit any kind of flesh. Before she could pounce on him, he ripped his shirt off and sprinted away from her. Because of how close his house was, he only had to run for about 20 seconds. But even with such a short distance, he could hear her rushing behind him, her hair rising up into the air with unbelievable speed. He bolted into his house and shut the door, locking it behind him. Trembling with fear, he sat behind the door and waited until dawn. He could hear the Harionago yelling and pounding on the door, trying to get past the door. When it was morning, he finally gained enough courage to open the door.
As the door creaked open, the Harionago was gone, but on his doorframe were now hundreds of deep scratches. And those were 3 terrifying Japanese urban legends that still haunt the shadows of folklore today. So tonight, if your cat stares at you a little too long, if someone smiles at you on an empty road, or if you hear whispers behind your head, you might want to think twice. If you enjoyed these chilling stories, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next nightmare. And before you go, which legend scared you the most? Tell me in the comments below. Sleep well, if you can.